So this is going to be like a short review of TFW No GF. I'm not really going to make anything special here. I don't really have the talents or skills for editing or design, or hell, I didn't even write anything down. I just finished watching the movie. It's about 6:53 in the morning. I slept for about 16 or 17 hours. You know, with the lockdown going on, I haven't left my house about 2.5 months. I locked myself down way before anything was like supposed to be locked down, because I was browsing um, 4chan, and I thought that things would be pretty serious, but that's another story. Um, I think there's multiple ways to critique and analyze film. Obviously, you have to look at the score. You have to look at the actual, especially if it's somewhat documentary, which I think this does document a very niche. I wouldn't even say niche, really. I guess within men under the age of 30 and above the age of probably about 16, it's not niche. But for everyone else, it's a niche community. Um, so you have to say, where's the accuracy within this community? Um, you have to look at the actual film. How are the shots? How are the angles? Um, you know, does it tell a story concisely, accurately? You know what I mean? Is it a good film? And so, I think the first thing is probably going to be the score, and the score is 100% with the aesthetic of incel in the community, within 4chan. It has this sort of post post vaporwave, depressive vibes. It's just beautiful, absolutely. Shooter, Negative XP. Yeah, I think there's 2 songs in there by him. I could be mistaken. I think that the outro song might have been by him, but I wasn't paying attention. I just wanted to get this out as fast as possible before every single fucking cultural fucking icon gives their dog shit take on it, and with their, you know what I'm saying. Um, the music's beautiful. It really sets you have these like kind of like this face to face, these like kind of just describing the experience of these young men's lives, which really reflected a lot of my experiences, and that was much appreciated. And between that, you'd have these wide sweeping shots. I remember specifically a scene in a parking lot with the guy from Texas, and he's sitting beneath this light post in this parking lot, and it's just this gorgeous shot and the music's perfect, and it's rotating around. So as far as all the film aspects of the film, um, I think they did just a fucking fantastic job with it, and I mean that 100% unironically. I genuinely think that it was a well done film. I think it was very well studied. Um, it did not demonize, or um, it didn't make them out to look like badasses. You know what I mean? Um, it was just it was the genuine article. Um, and I think that in today's film industry, you may not always find that, especially when it comes to subcultures. It's very difficult. I'm sure if you've ever been a part of a subculture that has gained the attention of, and I even hate to use the term, the mainstream media, you'll find that you're highly misrepresented to sell clicks or views or articles or whatever the fuck term you want to use. You're either a small minority within the subculture is blown up out of proportion, so that people are like, wow, these are the greatest people ever, or these people are literally Hitler, they're demons, they're evil. And the reason they do that is because if they just gave the honest opinion, they usually don't feel like it will sell. I think that this film proves that completely inaccurate. Um, it was an honest look at a struggle that a lot of men um, in their 20s go through. Um, you know, and I can say from my experience, I've never been, I never thought I would be, you know, a part of this collective. I always thought that I was supposed to be all these special things and succeed in all these ways, because that's kind of how you grow up, and you're told that you can do whatever you want, and you have all these dreams, and as a kid you don't really realize what the world's like. And then you get out into the real world and no one really gives a shit about you, and it's harsh, and everyone puts on a fake persona, and you don't know who you can really trust, and it's disheartening. You know, I was supposed to be an Olympic athlete, you know what I mean, and then I get into drinking heavily, and I drop out of college, and now I'm 23 years old, and I have no job, I have no education, and you know what I mean. My entire life, it's like you're told you're gonna do this, this, and this. I'm like a 6'6" man, and I never had issues until I hit my 20s, until I became an adult, and essentially once the world that I thought it was crumbled before me, every single skill that I had with interpersonal relationships crumbled as well. And it's debilitating, and the depression is insurmountable, because it's not even about it's not even about it's about companionship. It's really not about, oh, I can't have sexual relations, right? Because a lot of people think that's what it's about. Well, just go buy a prostitute, and it's not about that. And it's about true companionship. The world is a dark, scary place full of fucking lies and bullshit, and everyone's trying to convince you of something. Everyone wants you to fucking sway to their way of thinking, and everyone, they want you to get into the fucking wage cage, and they want you to do this, and you know what I mean. And for 40 years of your life, give your life to something that's completely fucking meaningless, and then you get to die, and it's bearable when you're not alone. And but in today's modern society, it seems like there's been a destruction of everything that would make life tolerable, almost. And I think that the film really captures that. I really do. With the landscape shots of the industrial places, um, and sort of almost the like the one man from Texas had said, the inhumanness of it all. Uh, it's gorgeous in a way, and in a sort of melancholy way, it's beautiful. When I first heard about the film, um, I was getting ready for your typical, usual fucking bullshit film that just gets everything wrong. It's completely obviously trying to pander to somebody. Um, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. It's the typical spin on media. Not saying left or right, but it's just spin. People put a spin on things because that's how they. I don't know. Maybe that's how they cope. I don't know why people do it. But this was a genuine look at what it's like to be an antisocial, depressed man in your 20s with such high suicide rates. And you just don't get that kind of honesty very often. So it was almost therapeutic to watch, um, without all the added um, demonizing. Really, is what it comes down to. It's like, it's like, okay, so these people are virgins and they're depressed, and now you're gonna demonize them because they're sad and angry. Like, that doesn't make any. Why would you do that? That's toxic behavior, is it not? To demonize people who literally fucking hate their lives. And so it was refreshing. I truly enjoyed the film. I didn't think I was going to, um at all, whatsoever. I expected it to be to be honest, I expected it to be somewhat like the Cuck film. uh and I guess that's my own prejudices playing a role in that, and I'm glad that it wasn't. I'm glad that it was a serious piece of film. And I would recommend anyone who thinks that they has probably ever posted TFW No GF to definitely give the film a watch. You know, uh, there's really nothing negative that I can say about it. I wish it was, I don't know, maybe a little longer, but I think if they were to draw it out too much, I think it would lose some of what makes it special. It's that it's just complete and utter honesty. I think, you know, in the ending, when they do the "it's been 2 years," that trope, it was very sad because, like, these people were doing nothing wrong, and it seemed like the world kept shitting on them. Red flag laws, doxing them, like, just shit that just, it was so evil and toxic for people who are just sad. They're just sad. That's all it is. They're sad. They're sad because of the way things are. And it's almost like people are mad at them for being sad, and it doesn't make any sense. Why be upset at them for being sad? Oh, they don't fit into modern society. They were told that life was going to be a fucking box of chocolates, and they open it up and it's a box of shit, and now they're disgruntled, they're apathetic, and they can't find something to give a shit about, and they're expressing their emotions, and you're mad at them? Okay, so they shit post. Yeah, they shit post. Who cares? Okay? You know? Is that I just don't understand. I don't understand the anger towards this, and I wouldn't call it a community, because I think one of the most important things that you see with this film is that the individuals that they look at are highly varied. One of them is a religious bodybuilder, right? Well, the bodybuilder, power lifter, works out all the time. One of them is Kantbot is an intellectual. He is truly, as memed on as that term is. You disagree with him, agree with him. I don't give a shit. I don't even care about his rhetoric. I don't give a fuck. Okay, that's not what this is about. He's well studied. Okay, very well studied. You had the two brothers who were sort of like that sort of drive, jacket, aesthetic, completely different aesthetic, completely different people. But, but, they all had something in common, and that thing in common was their emotions, was their feelings, the way they felt about the world and the way they felt about themselves to a degree, you know? And I think that says something for the collective psyche of young men. That they're all, not all, but a good portion of them are experiencing this feeling. And I don't think you can chalk it up to the internet fully. I don't think you can chalk it up to, oh, it's the, you know, the typical meme shit. Oh, the video games. Oh, you know, oh, the rock and roll music. Oh, you know, I think there's genuinely something that has happened within society, and I think we're seeing the ramifications of it. And I think people are so quick to dismiss that they will demonize any young man who displays emotions in the way that these young men have. So, I would say, just to wrap it all up, I know I've gone completely off the fucking deep end and off the rails because it's supposed to be a movie review. I don't even know if I'm going to post this. But the score was easily a 9 out of 10. Were there some songs I'd like to see in it? Sure. But, I mean, the score was fantastic. You can't, you know what I mean? The artistic value of the film, as in the actual shots and the angles, um, I'm gonna go 8 out of 10 because I think fuck it, fuck all that. The movie was fucking fantastic. Fuck rating scales. Fuck whatever. You know, it's so intangible. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. The movie was good. Okay, they did a good job. It was well fucking researched. It was an honest look at what's going on. The music, and even if the movie was shot but with a fucking an android and looked like shit and was 7 hours long, it it needs to be appreciated for being honest. And then we can look at, okay, but how is it actually as a film? And it's still fucking fantastic. So, I guess the reason I'm so, like, energized, I guess, is because I didn't expect this. I didn't expect this at all. I expected it to be a shitty film. I really did. I expected it to be pandering and inaccurate, and it wasn't. And I really, I enjoyed it. So, that's really all I have to say.